to demoing our platform and our curriculum.
I have one.
Go for it, Miranda.
Um, uh, help with.
Yes, we do help with resume presentation. Thank you, Harrison. So yes, I'll be really clear about the job transition thing. A lot of, so most of our students are taking this course to get a new job. That's the normal, I realize I'm looking at the camera if I look up here, but I see you down there, which is why I should look up there. Um, so as I was saying, most of our students, are taking this course because they want a new job or they want to boost the existing job they have. Like they already have a tech job, they want to make it better. Now, one thing we're really clear about right from the beginning is that getting a new job in tech is always hard. It's not going to be easy. It's a competitive market out there. In other words, there's a lot of people who are trying to switch to tech right now, not just because of COVID, but just because in general, I mean, also because of COVID, but also just in general, it's you get cushy jobs with nice benefits that you can work from home. So that's, I mean, what else can you want? So the so that's one thing we mentioned. Your exact question was about resume help. Yes, we absolutely do resume help. So we have a career course at the end of taking the other. We've got three other courses that are more focused on coding and more on building up your portfolio and your skills. The last course we have is our career course, which is about giving you some fundamentals to be able to do well in interviews. The interview process for software developer roles is very, very tough. It is like when I work. I don't want to go too much of a digression here, but like probably one of the hardest sets of interviews I had was for Microsoft, and well, Facebook was really hard too, but Microsoft was actually just more time consuming, and that was like I had like 6 hours of back to back interviews where they were like just grilling me on literally even the lunch break was an interview with like my future boss. We went out to like eat, and then it was just like grilling me on everything. I'm like, wow, I can't like great burrito, I guess. Like my mouth is full and I'm trying to like answer your questions. But it was the interview process for tech jobs can be really tough. That's one extreme is like, and that was actually after 2 hours of screening interviews ahead of time. I had 2 hours of screening interviews and then 6 hours of on site. But that's one extreme. That was Microsoft. You have other cases where it's just going to be like maybe 40 minutes or an hour of interview or a couple hours of interviews. And we try to help you prepare for those. We try to help you prepare for your resume, get it all fixed up. Like if you don't have a lot of coding experience, which most people who are taking it, of course, don't. We'll try to think of ways that you can re-express your existing experience to make it seem more tech, essentially, and kind of create the image that you want to show to potential employers. Also with your LinkedIn, your all of these different profiles. Great question, Miranda.
Another one.
Go
Do you
for it.
think it's harder for people who join boot camps or harder for people that get a college degree
Great
in
question.
tech?
Great question. I have I have a college degree in computer science. But I think the thing that really helped me get jobs was actually getting kind of early internships right away, and then having that work experience was probably even more important than my college degree. In terms of, but I will be completely honest and say that I think a computer science degree is worth a lot more than a bootcamp graduation certificate or whatever. The certificate isn't really worth anything. I'll just be actually completely clear there. Coding, nobody looks for at least tech companies. At least if you're applying to a tech company, they don't care which courses you've taken. They mostly just care about your work experience and how well you do in these interview processes. That's the main thing they care about is work experience, and like they screen by work experience, and then they also do all those interviews to try to like weed out folks who don't really know it. But like to be perfectly honest, I think a computer science degree is better than a bootcamp graduation certificate. But even if you have a CS degree, I mean, we've had students who have CS degrees take our course. Even if you have a CS degree, it's still going to be largely about your experience and about how well you do in the interview process.
Also, if I gain skills from Kickstart, the in tech world, they look at that.
They would. You're still going to really have to hustle though. it's all about connections too. That's another thing. Like our coding curriculum, or our career curriculum, is based on this idea of you both have to know your stuff, and then you also have to be able to like get your foot in the door and get your resume to the person who needs to see it. So like if so like the what I'd recommend is thinking about like, or like the way to think of this is, let's say you complete our curriculum and it's, it takes you, we our estimate is like 4 months to a year depending on how much time you're spending. So let's say you complete all the material, you feel ready to start, or maybe you don't feel ready, but we're telling you you're ready to start applying, and you start applying. Well, just applying to jobs is going to be pretty hit and miss. You're gonna want to like go to meetups like this one. You're gonna want to like hit up all your friends who might have a job at a tech company, or just anything related to that. You want to make new friends who might have jobs at tech companies, and just say, hey, I'm looking for this position, because probably the job you're going to get is going to come through a connection and not through just submitting your resume through an online portal, if that makes sense, Miranda. It's a real hustle like out there. Like I've helped so many students by now that I've gotten the sense of like we had I don't know if Jensen's still on this stream, but he graduated a few months ago, and I know he's been working his ass off applying for everything, or applying for things, and go like networking, doing open source work with different projects to get those connections. And he's doing a great job of all of that. If he's on the stream now, good job. Just to be clear, but but that is but that is kind of what to expect. Is like you're going to be jumping through so many hoops. Not to discourage you, because it's totally possible. Like I've had so many students jump through those hoops and just, I mean, it's great. They can change their lives around. I've had students really change their lives around in ways that just like make me do what I do, right? But at the same time, like we try to be really honest that it's not going to come easy.
So it's better if I get my degree.
Um, yes. I would say a computer science degree is definitely worth it. Yeah, but we teach very different things. I think that's the key thing. Is a computer science degree teaches you how to think. It teaches you kind of math concepts about coding, but it doesn't teach you the technology that you would need to get, or like the technology you'll use on the job. That's kind of the difference. The computer science degree is about learning how to think, how to approach coding problems, how to the core underlying concepts, whereas a coding course like ours is about the skills that you use every day. So it's more job focused training, if that makes sense. Like I would say even do both. A lot of people do both. That's a reasonable thing too. Does that make sense at all, Miranda?
Yeah.
Either way, it's I know sometimes folks have or sometimes people have a view that there's a lot of coding jobs out there and they're just like waiting for me out there. And I know it's sometimes it can be discouraging to hear that it's a very competitive job market for coding jobs, but I do want to just say that it is totally possible. So you can get a new job in coding if you want that. And even if you don't take our course, I'd be happy to help like give you any pointers necessary. So yeah, problem. And I thank you, Kevin, for answering all that. Let's see. I'm kind of looking at the answer or the questions that Harrison had. Harrison, if you have any follow-ups, let me know too. Yeah, so Kevin mentioned, there is four courses we have, so it is a set curriculum in that sense. But then we'll kind of arrange those courses and arrange the classes in those courses to make sure it teaches what you're looking for is the goal. And our estimates are about.
Anybody else have a question?
Yeah.
So I've talked to a few bootcamps.
Mm-hmm.
They told me we're not as honest as that.
Oh, This is why I
They,
started my own. I'll be honest. That's why.
cause they told me that you'll get a job, and it's like, well, they promised me all this stuff,
Oh man.
and they said that you don't even, because you have to know the skills and get a job right away.
That I think that was a sales pitch, unfortunately, or that came from the marketing department and not from the instructors. Like, so at the coding boot camp I used to teach here in the Bay Area, they said the same thing to my students, and like my day one was like, hey, so this is how it's gonna be. It's gonna be really really tough, you know. But yeah, it's definitely not guaranteed. That is an absolute. It can happen. You can do it, but it's gonna be tough. And it'll take a while probably. Now, that said, I mean every single one of our classes or cohorts, we've had at least one student get a new job before the end of the cohorts, but that's like 1 out of 20. But still, we have had that, so that is possible, including folks getting like completely new career changes before the end. But I think that's more kind of one end of the spectrum in terms of like what to expect. The other end is it could take months and months and months and months and months of networking and applying and getting lots of no's.
Was everything.
Yeah.
But so if I know somebody,
Mhm.
then it's like a plus.
That is a plus. Yes. You want to be good friends with them. Go and buy them a beer or something. I don't know. Like get them a nice coffee. I don't know. And generally like, and this is something they don't tell you in the marketing. I mean, I'll just be really frank. They don't tell you. The marketing for other boot camps tend to be really not very honest. And one thing they don't tell you is most of those success stories they have on those websites is the way that people got that new job is they knew somebody at that company. That's generally how it all goes. Like, because I'm as an instructor, I see
So
this.
you
Like,
know,
yeah, that's how it is. Now, now, of course, that means if you're trying to get a new job, you got to know people at companies, and you're going to have to like maybe you already know a few tech people, or maybe you should just start making some new friends. So that's kind of how it goes. Yeah, no problem. So I was going, and I see, yeah, cool. Kevin already put out that contact information. Also, if you're interested in learning more about us, so if you just go to our online.kickstartcoding.com, you can, if you can go all the way down to the bottom here and apply. And if you apply, you'll get onto our mailing list and we send out, we're about once a week or maybe a little bit less frequently than that. We're very non-spammy and it's a very polite, non-markety sort of mailing list, we swear, but we will mention things like other events and stuff, like we have, like there's a mailing list or a email that'll go out tomorrow that'll have 4 events on it, I think, that we're promoting. A lot of cool things going on, and just stay in the loop. So you can just start an application. You'll be added to our mailing list here. Even if you don't complete the application, you'll still be on our just by applying. Great question. How many people? So our max capacity is not 20 at this point. For the online course, just because it's people are taking a much slower pace than our in-person one. Our in-person one, like everybody was taking it at the maximum speed, which meant like 20 was pretty much as many as we could have. So our maximum is quite a bit. Like people are taking it at like maybe a quarter of the speed. Most people are taking it about the quarter of the speed. So we have higher maximum. We currently have about 15 people enrolled. We just launched like a week ago, basically. So this is still super brand new. You'd be among the first students in our online program. Yeah, but that said, we do have a max capacity that we have not fully calculated yet. But so do apply soon if you're interested. And then yeah, ground level, exactly. This online thing is new to us. Even though we've had a lot of experience teaching the other way, this is all new. Das Miko says if we complete all the courses in the Kickstart curriculum, is there any additional advanced learning courses you offer? Yeah, great question. So, um, if when by the time you've completed all the courses in our curriculum, maybe we'll have created new advanced level ones because I think that'll take that we're talking about like probably like 6 months or something or a year or so, and I do intend to like make a few more advanced courses maybe sometime next year when I get the time. But that said, the we do try to like we do have lots of recommendations. In terms of recommendations, we have a lot of that for like learning resources and how to like keep your job set fresh. Like again, I don't know if Jensen's watching this, but one thing he followed our recommendations, which is really cool. I love that, and he joined these open source groups like Open Oakland or Code for America San Francisco Brigade, and has been working on just like really cool projects as he's just to keep his skills sharp as he's applying for like apprenticeships and internships and all of that. Exactly, 100 days of code he's been doing, which is a cool thing. Cool hashtag. Any other questions? I realize we've got 6 minutes left, which is actually just the right amount of time to show off the platform.